Hi guys, Going Green Mom here, coming to you from my kitchen in this frozen tundra up north. My kids got another snow day today. But I am in my kitchen and I am actually going to use some of that snow to help me get some work done. I am defrosting my freezer. It has been probably a year and a half since it has been cleaned out, so it desperately needs it. And my freezer has become a much used tool in that last year or so. If you are new here, I have something called histamine intolerance, which means my body has reactions to histamine that is naturally occurring in our food most of the time. But it all break out in hives, have panic attacks, all sorts of crazy things. So, one way to slow the process down is to freeze things, because histidine does not convert into histamine when it is cold. So I do have a quarter-size deep freezer. I freeze our meats, vegetables, fruit. When I meal prep, I freeze the portions so that they don't continue to develop histamine. I can also do ingredient prep. So say I want to make tacos, I can have 2 or 3 meals worth of taco meat already prepared and frozen. I will probably be playing with some more ingredient freezing type things, I've got some dried beans here that I want to play around with and see if I can do some sort of homemade chili beans. And so you'll see that in the coming weeks, more so on Fridays. So some of the stuff I don't eat, that's bagels for my daughter. But over on this side, I have kind of corralled as much of the veggies and fruit and things as I can. Down in the bottom is mainly our meat. The big container in the middle is a lasagna I made for my uncles. And then got stuck in the house. I'm not really stuck in the house. I can leave, but I choose not to go visit them as much as I would like to, because they don't have a whole lot of outside contact and are high risk as well. So I am going to use all that fresh snow we got last night to help keep some of this cold. I've got a cooler I will pack as much into as I can, and then the rest will go in a snowbank. In case you live down south, this is something us up here in the frozen tundra of the north can do. Sorry, you will want to have more storage that has the ability to stay frozen if you are down south somewhere. But one thing I definitely would be remiss if I didn't mention is the principle of store what you eat and eat what you store. That is one thing I wound up realizing over the last month. I had bought and stocked up on some okra that I just really found out I don't eat. It's not that I don't like okra. I actually do rather like okra, but I can buy it in the store in the medallions. And in order for me to eat it in a form that I know that I like, I have to bread it and then fry it, both of which are fairly time-consuming processes that I just don't enjoy all that much. So while I have found some ways to eat it, mixing it into various dishes, or my daughter did actually just fry up a bag of it for us the other night for a cooking class. Not something she will do a whole lot of, because she did not find that process enjoyable either, and she doesn't like the okra that way. So, that meat there is literally all the way down to the bottom of the cooler, but that's really all the meat we had left from the last quarter that we got. And then this was just some veggies that I had found. Some of them, like the peas, had gotten buried below the okra, and I didn't even realize we had it. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to kind of make an inventory list so I can make sure that I eat through the veggies and fruit that is in the freezer over the next month and get all of that worked out. So I am definitely moving through the stock that I have. And I won't be buying okra unless I definitely want it for a specific purpose. So in case you're also new here, on Fridays I do Foodie Friday. You can often see me cooking in my Instant Pot. I do cook from frozen as much as possible because the process of thawing will allow histamines to develop. So the goal is to get things from frozen to cooked and back to frozen or eaten as quickly as possible. I do buy my meat from a butcher, and they don't hang it as long as some of the commercial processors do. So it will come to me at -10 degrees, and it will have hung for 2 or 3 days, I think. This is the rest of the freezer contents. Those things on top are just paint brushes that I froze for, I'm not sure why. Paint samples for sure, because I don't have more of the yellow paint. Anyway, this is the rest of the food we need to get through. In case you are down in the sunny south and want to see some snow, I have snow dunes in my front yard right now. It will probably be a little while before I get down those steps. So basically my process for today, I just pulled everything out. I've got the freezer off. It will start melting the frosty edges. I can pull that ice out and then clean out the kale and blueberries and whatever else had fallen down in the bottom. In the future, as I put this stuff back, I will make note of what I have, and that way we can use that up in the next week or two in different meals. And then I won't be buying as much of the stuff that we haven't gotten through. You guys know I use a ton of broccoli. We use a little bit of peas, but not a ton. Rarely ever do we use okra because it just gives things a bit of a weird texture that not everybody likes. Hopefully this helped you guys some. See you guys Friday.